you. So the brothers jump out and yell at a bystander, tell the media this is for Al-QAEDA in Yemen, in the Arabian Peninsula. At the same time, you get Talabani sitting there in front of an ISIS flag, claiming that he's ISIS. Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. And you know, a lot of people in the last 24 hours are making this distinction between ISIS and Al-QAEDA, or even saying that there's a competition between the groups. And there may be a competition when it comes to getting funding or getting recruits, but their bottom line is exactly the same. This is the red herring of jihad. This is the distraction that they want the rest of the world to be focused on while they carry out their agenda. And what's going to happen is 3, 4, 5 days from now, as happens after every attack, the rest of the world is going to go back to living life, and they're going to go back to plotting as to how to take lives. And that's what we've seen across the board. But what we are seeing are a lot of the similarities between the two groups. This is Jihad 2.0. What ISIS brought to the forefront was this new savvy way of conducting jihad, meaning using social media, using rap videos, having a tangible face on the group. They had al-Baghdadi as the caliph of their caliphate, right? And Al-QAEDA, it's been a sleeper cell. It's been quiet. It doesn't mean that they haven't been busy plotting away.
And what about, what's going to come next? Possibly within a week. I bet there's going to be a video from Hayat. She fled. Apparently, all consensus is that she took off because she knew the attacks were coming. Went to Turkey, crossed the border into Syria. How long before a video of her pops up proclaiming her love for her deceased common law husband, calling him an Islamic radical hero, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. And this is exactly what we've been seeing, this evolution of jihad, using social media, using videos. And another thing I want to point to is that, the connection of these jihadis and their lives while they were living, their connection to these different groups is not going to be as important as their deaths, and how their deaths are going to be used as propaganda to radicalize and incite more such attacks, particularly on the West. They're fixated. Al-QAEDA in Yemen, fixated on launching attacks in the West. They speak English, they put out videos, and if you don't go to them, you don't need to travel to Yemen, they will come to you in the comfort of your own home as you're sitting behind your
through the internet?
Through the internet, through videos. And they know how to connect to young,
why can't they stop those
people.
videos? YouTube has pulled millions, they say, but why can't they stop this connection with
They've tried. They try very hard to stop this. They try very hard to flag this. But look at the internet and how massive it is.
Let me show you something that was really incredibly powerful. We got that video of the world leaders of Merkel and Hollande and Abbas and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu walking arm in arm. Take a look at that. Who's missing? Where are we? Eric Holder was there. How come John Kerry wasn't there? Oh, you don't have the President of the United States, and maybe you don't have Vice President Joe Biden. But Putin sent Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia. You know who we had? Ambassador Jane Hartley. You couldn't pick her out in a lineup. What does it mean when someone who 99.9% of Americans don't even know, have never seen or never even heard of until right this very second, what does it mean if she is the highest-ranking American official at this incredible demonstration against radical terrorism?
It's deafening. The absence of American leaders today in Paris is absolutely deafening. We have leaders from around the world who are really making a statement as to where they stand. And unfortunately, right here, D.C., our administration, they're just not ready.
What could they possibly say tomorrow? What is Josh Earnest going to possibly say tomorrow at the... Josh, what are you going to say tomorrow at the White House press briefing? Say, well, the security reason. Okay. What possible excuse could they have for not having a high-ranking official? Let's say, well, the U.S. ambassador was the highest,
Eric,
and that's it.
Over the last week, every interview that I've done, the question has been raised, what can be done? Here is the moment where something can be done, where optics matter, where our president has never understood that what he says at the podium matters, his position,
well, I mean, okay, you can understand maybe
matters.
He's not there. I mean, Netanyahu certainly has been a target. You can understand why the president may not be there, but why not Kerry? I mean, they couldn't get him on an airplane.
Why not Kerry? Kerry, this is his job. Is this not his job? Was this not part of the job description? Why isn't he there? And you know what? What message is this sending to the rest of the Arab world when you have representatives from all these different countries, when you have representatives traveling there, and you know what?
What message does that send?
We're just not ready. We have to fight ideology with ideology. Let's talk about something else, where you have the president of Egypt, Sisi, coming out and condemning radical Islam and calling for the rest of the Muslim world to make a reform, to change Islam. And let's juxtapose something where our president in 2000, I think it was 8 or 9, traveled to Egypt at a university, and you want to put these two scenes next to each other, and he apologized for American exceptionalism. And here you have the president of Egypt standing at a podium in what would be the equivalent of the Vatican, as we've said, and calling out Islamic extremism. And you know, if you put the two together, it's like, look at where the Arab world is headed. And unfortunately, the U.S. has not caught up to that yet.
Well, we'll have to see what the White House says tomorrow. I mean, they'll obviously will have their reasoning, and they will publicly say that, whether it was just logistics, inability to do that, security issues, or something that critics will say is much deeper. Lisa Daftari, thank you for your insight.